Yo, what's going on guys? How you doing? Arekkz here and welcome to Gravity Rush 2. Now this game officially comes out next week, somewhere between January the 28th and January the 20th, depending on where you are in the world. However, PlayStation very kindly sent me an early copy so that I can bring you guys some videos. So in this video, I want to bring you guys some gameplay from Chapter 2 onwards. Now, rest assured, there will be no spoilers in this video. I basically want to kind of talk a little bit about the game, let you guys know what's new, tell you a bit about my impressions, and just show you guys some gameplay that shows you, say, the world, some of the stuff you can get up to, so there will be no story spoilers whatsoever. And of course, if you want to know what happens from the very beginning of the game, then you're going to have to wait until next week, because that stuff is secret. Needless to say, it's a really cool start. It's a very kind of different start to the original one if you played Gravity Rush 1, so it's definitely something to look forward to. Now, if you guys haven't played Gravity Rush before, or you haven't heard about it before, it came out originally on PS Vita back in 2012. I actually bought it back then. Didn't have the chance to play it, criminally, I know, but it was then re-released last year as a remastered version on PS4. I then played it then. It is an incredible game. It's got a really nice art style. Hopefully you guys can already see that. It has some really fun gameplay mechanics, and of course, being an RPG at heart, there is the whole sort of NPC interaction, side quest stuff, exploration, all the kind of stuff you would come to expect. However, number 2 aims to build on that and go even bigger and better. It has a map that is 2.5 times as big as the original. It also has 3 times as many story missions, and one of the things they wanted to kind of work to build in this one is making the game a lot more immersive. Now, the world in the original one was still really nice, but one thing they've done in this one is really tried to kind of build out, say, the environments you're in. One of the main cities that you play in, that you'll actually see in the background now, there are so many NPCs walking around that you can just interact with. You can, take photos, you can wave at them, use emotes, and they will organically kind of react back towards you, which is, really nice. Just kind of makes them feel a lot more alive than just these sort of like nameless drones that typically walk around and populate the universe. The city itself is also a lot more vibrant, a lot more colourful. There's kind of a lot more depth and verticality to it, because one of the big things about Gravity Rush, if you haven't played it before, is it's all about shifting gravity, hence the name. You play as a character named Cat. She can control gravity thanks to her cat named Dusty, and you can then use this to fly through the sky, attack enemies in the air, use this to kind of like solve puzzles or overcome things, and that of course extends to just general exploration. Sure, you can walk around the streets, you can do what you want, or you can just fly over the top, fly underneath. However you want to play it, the whole sort of gravity shifting mechanic just makes exploration of what would normally be seen as, say, a basic civilian kind of outpost a lot more exciting. Who wants to go through the streets of a city when you can go over the top? Now, turning my attention for a second to some of the new stuff, you won't see that in this gameplay because it's a little bit further down the line, but Cat has some new abilities in this game. You have the ability to switch between different gravity modes. So you start off with the original one that was present in the first game, so standard gravity shifting, you launch yourself in the air, fly through the sky, use that to kind of do mid-air combat. However, you will then later unlock the ability to switch between lunar mode and Jupiter mode, the former of which makes you faster and basically allows you to run faster, move faster, and jump higher. The latter makes it so that you are heavier, so it adds more weight to your combat. So if you're trying to deal more damage, then you would switch to that. And they can all be switched by using the touchpad, so you can simply swap between them on the fly in battle, which of course makes combat a lot more dynamic, a lot more exciting, and in general a lot more involved than it was before. Now, of course, in true RPG fashion, when you get into kind of like a big town, there is your standard, progression through the main story missions, but there is also side quests, there are challenges, there's also online components this time around, so simple things like you can take photos when you're in the world and share them online. Plus, there are actually like online treasure hunts where you'll kind of load in, and then some will be positioned like in a particular location, and you'll then have to go and find them, or different things like that. There's also a ghost mode, so there's loads of stuff to do in and around the town. Again, kind of adding to that whole sort of vibrant, alive nature, just making it feel like a much more exciting place to actually explore, making you want to actually spend more time just in the game, because there is the risk, in games like this where you typically just try and sort of plow through and just play the story, and you could do that. You can skip all the side quests, you can kind of just go through the main story mission and still enjoy the game, but as someone that doesn't necessarily always do side quests, they are actually really good fun in this. Some of them are more like mini games, like for example using your powers to deliver newspapers, whereas some of the other ones are slightly more involved. But needless to say, there is no shortage of stuff to do. Also, importantly, if you guys haven't played the first one, then this is still a great place to jump into. Yes, narratively speaking, they will of course reference things or like events that happened in the first game, but you do not need to have any knowledge of that to kind of enjoy this one and play this one. You begin the game from what is effectively a fresh start. I'm going to kind of avoid details again because I don't want to spoil the start, but safe to say you can start this game with no prior knowledge or experience with this game and still fully enjoy it. Also, further to that point, one of the nice things is the game sets it up really nicely. It starts quite fast, quite high paced. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at the very beginning of the game that A, introduces you to, how this game is played and kind of what makes Gravity Rush, but also there's a lot of like exciting stuff you do very early on. So before you get to the part that you're seeing in this video, kind of the main city, the main town where you explore and do your side quests, you have like a lot of kind of high adrenaline, high impact stuff that just really kind of gets you into the game, and then you're like, yeah, this is really cool. Like, I enjoy this. I'm looking forward to kind of doing more of that. It slows down a little bit once you kind of enter chapter 2, just to sort of set the scene, work through the sort of outpost, work through the town, start doing some of the side quests. But again, once you progress past that and you start unlocking your powers, your abilities, it all picks up and it all gets very, very exciting. The combat in this is really, really good fun. Once you start doing some of the crazy aerial combat stuff, it might take you a little bit of time to kind of adjust to the whole sort of gravity shifting thing, because when you're typically used to doing everything grounded, the second you start floating up in the sky, flipping upside down, it takes a little bit of time just to sort of get your head around the whole thing and sort of, you know, make sure you know where you are. But once you get used to it, you'll be zipping through the sky, doing all your combat airborne wherever possible. And the other nice thing as well is because of the way you can fight, it makes kind of general basic combat, things that are effectively trash mobs, things that in other games you would normally just, you know, wipe through and not find especially interesting. In this game, because of the way that you fight them, it just makes it that much more enjoyable. So, safe to say, I am super enjoying this game. I still haven't finished it just yet. I'm still playing my way through. But either way, I'm super enjoying this. If you like the original Gravity Rush, then it goes without saying you should definitely be playing this one. If you didn't play the original one, then I highly recommend checking this out. It's a very different game, both gameplay-wise and visually, but it is something that I think a lot of you guys will really enjoy. So, that is it for the time being. Also a slightly new format. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, kind of a little bit more presence from me. So if you did enjoy it, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know if you guys are Gravity Rush fans, or if you guys are going to be picking up number 2. And also, just a quick note, quick reminder, this upload time, if you guys are watching this when this went live, trying to make 5 PM UK time my kind of default upload time for most videos. So do be sure to check back at this time on a regular basis for more videos. Anyway, thank you for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one.